If you do not choose to lock in and you don't choose what you're going to lock in on, the world is going to choose it for you. And the world is always going to choose a distraction. What I'm noticing is that there are so many people who are tired of having their attention pulled in so many different directions. It literally feels like a cultural shift right now. We've gone through the great resignation where people left their 9-to-5s to start businesses. If this truly is the great lock-in of 2025, where so many people are going to be reclaiming their attention, where they're going to be locked in on doing what's necessary to become whatever it is that they desire to be, if you choose not to lock in, you are going to feel left behind. And the choice is always yours. So just the other day, I was over on TikTok and I was scrolling and I came across a video on locking in. I watched it. I thought to myself, I love this concept, definitely going to apply it. I saved it and I moved on. Now, over time, I started to notice more videos on my feed that were on this same topic. What was so unique about it was that these creators were not only all talking about using the final 4 months of this year to really lock in and recommit to your goals, but they were calling it the great lock-in of 2025. I'm taking it as more than just a trend. This is truly going to be a cultural shift. People are deciding that they are going to use these last 4 months to not only reclaim their attention, but to use that energy into becoming the next best version of themselves. So what is this whole great lock-in of 2025? So it's the idea that from September to December, we are going to use this season to lock in on what matters the most for you. So it's not about ghosting everyone or just disappearing from all social interactions. It's truly about being intentional, focusing on your goals, your growth, and your next chapter. And from my research, so basically watching all of the videos on TikTok, this doesn't really sound like it's like another version of the 75 hard, where there are daily rules that you have to follow. Also, it doesn't sound like this is just another version of monk mode, which is another popular self-improvement challenge where you focus on achieving your goals through cutting back on all social interactions, entertainment, and even the internet. It truly just sounds like a personalized season where you're going to commit to just focusing on becoming the next best version of you, whatever that looks like for you. So I keep emphasizing for you because while I was watching these videos on this concept of the great lock-in of 2025, of course, like any other moment where people choose collectively that we're going to talk about improving ourselves, where we're going to talk about all the things that we want to do or all the things that we want to accomplish, and we just happen to throw a title or a label on it, there's always going to be someone who just has something negative to say. When you reach a point in your life where you are fed up and you want better for yourself, you have to do whatever is best for you. And that also means sometimes keeping the details of your commitment to yourself. So I recently made a video on why the most successful women keep their goals private. If you haven't watched it already, I'll link it here and it'll also be linked down below in the description box. When you are in a season of locking in, it's not about proving or performing for anyone, but it is truly about putting your head down and doing the work so that who you become after this period of time of locking in will just speak for itself. So again, lock in could be a buzzword, could be very much the very thing that changes your life, but here is why the approach of locking in works. So our brains are not wired to give full attention to multiple things at the same time. Psychologists actually call this the spotlight of attention. So just like a spotlight that only shines on one area of the stage, your mind can only give real focus to one priority at a time. So when you lock in, you are choosing what deserves your spotlight and you are filtering everything else around it as noise. So when you choose to go through a period of time where you are just locked in, not only are you giving yourself the ability to focus more on the things that matter, but you're also strengthening your ability to delay gratification. So there was a study done called the marshmallow test. So in this test, kids were given one marshmallow and they were told that they could eat the marshmallow now, or if they waited a little longer, they would get a second one, meaning that they would have 2 marshmallows to eat instead of 1. So the children who decided that they were going to wait to receive that second marshmallow, they proved that they can control their impulses. Having the ability to control impulses like that, it shows up as self-control later on in your life. So those children will have better focus, discipline, and success. So locking in is basically your personalized version of that test. Choosing to pull back and focus means that you are putting that energy into something that will pay you back later. So every time you make a decision like this, you're basically strengthening your discipline muscle and training yourself to prioritize the long-term win over the short-term thrill. So on this channel, we're all about personal growth and personal brand building. So on a deeper level, every choice that you make reinforces who you believe you are. So locking in isn't just about the discipline or the habits, but it also comes down to your identity. So if you're on the journey of rebranding or reinventing yourself, each time you follow through on a goal, each time you follow through on pulling back and redirecting your focus, you prove to yourself that you're someone who honors growth over what's comfortable. So on this channel, I will never tell you to do something that I wouldn't do for myself or I haven't applied to my own life. So here is my personal story of how the power of locking in has really changed my life. When I went off to school in the first semester, I basically became the party girl. I was outside literally Wednesday through Sunday. And when I say I was outside, y'all, I was outside. So when it came to the end, basically the end of my second year in school, where you have to go meet your advisor and talk about the next steps of whatever you need to do to get into the program or what kind of classes you're going to take once you're accepted into the program, my advisor basically looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You're better off changing your major to undecided just so you won't continue to waste your parents' money." So it was in this moment where I had to make the decision. Either you're going to keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep being outside, you're going to continue to be the party girl, you're going to continue to just focus on drinking and dating and change your major to undecided so that you can eventually graduate one day. Or you're going to have to make some changes. So over the next 2.5 semesters, I did that. I locked in. I stepped back on going out. I stepped back on dating. I just made more time for working out and for studying. And not only was I able to reach the GPA to get into the marketing program, but I also reached the GPA necessary to transfer to the school that I wanted to go to. Another example, so for the month of July this year, I noticed that I was spending a lot of time over on TikTok, and I really just wanted to take a step back so that I can redirect that attention, that energy back into YouTube. So I did that. And over the month of July, so July I probably started at 652 subscribers here on YouTube. By August 2nd, I reached 1,000, and by August 8th, we reached 2,000 subscribers. So while I recognize that there are certainly other factors that probably go into why I was able to achieve these kind of results, the bottom line is this: I pulled my attention back and I redirected it towards something that matters. And through that process, I was able to do the very thing that I set out to do. So again, locking in, it's more than just a buzzword for me. It truly is a way of life. And when I came across this concept of the great lock-in of 2025, I absolutely decided, yes, I'm going to lock in for the rest of this year. I'm not going to tell you exactly what I'm going to be doing over the next 4 months because I want this season to truly speak for itself, but I do want to encourage you to do the same thing. I want to challenge you to keep this season to yourself. But not only do I want you to keep this season of locking in private, I want you to document it behind the scenes, especially if you are on the journey of becoming the brand that you desire to be. Let's say you want to learn how to heal your gut, right? So you're going to use this next 4 months to explore different meals to reduce inflammation. You're going to try juicing more. You're going to maybe try new supplements. Document this journey privately. Take notes of what's working for you and what's not working for you. Record your reflections. How has this journey made you feel? What is the mindset that has carried you through this transformation? And also take photos or videos of the results that you notice, like maybe your skin is becoming more clear, or maybe you're losing inches around your midsection. Do all of this so that when the 4 months are over, you can use this silent journey as a way to productize yourself. Maybe you can create a mini content series where you're sharing basically the behind the scene moments that no one saw when you were going through this journey. Or maybe you decide you're going to create an ebook or a course that basically provides the step-by-step guide of how to achieve whatever it is that you achieve during this time. This is ultimately the cheat code for not only changing your life, but also becoming the brand that you desire to be. What I love about this is that when you truly do lock in and you document behind the scenes, you document silently your wins, you are able to use your journey as proof that you can help others achieve a similar transformation. So these next 2 people that we're going to focus on when it comes to the power of locking in, they are also both Virgos. They are also truly 2 people who are great examples of of what it looks like when you lock in to focus on building your skills, to focus on becoming the best of your kind. And what I love about both of them is that what makes them successful wasn't always put in the spotlight. It was the quiet moments when no one was watching. So the first person that we're going to talk about is Kobe Bryant. So Kobe lived by what he called the Mamba mentality. So this basically looked like waking up at 4 a.m. to run drills for hours, getting into the gym long before his teammates even showed up. And he did that for years, not because he had to, but because he believed that greatness comes from falling in love with the work itself. So to Kobe, the Mamba mentality wasn't just a routine that he turned to before the game. It was an entire way of life. It was a standard of discipline and focus that carried him everywhere he went. And eventually he passed that mindset on to others. It became a reminder that locking in is about the quiet hours you invest long before anyone else can see the results. And even when they can see the results, how your job still isn't done. And another great example is no one other than Beyonce. So I've talked about Beyonce a few times here on this channel, so I don't want to spend too much time on this. If you know, you know. My girl is one of the greatest entertainers of our time. But what I love and respect about her is when she's working on a project, you know it because she goes quiet. She goes ghost. She's not constantly posting on social media. She's not attending every award show, every red carpet event. She's locked in. She's somewhere studying art, history, culture. She's literally creating a new world for us to experience when she's ready to pop back out. So for example, when she released Lemonade in 2016, she truly disappeared for a while, and then out of nowhere, no teasers, nothing, just dropped the project, and it truly was a world stop moment. So I say all this to say that is essentially what locking in is all about. It's about just stepping away from the noise and giving yourself the space to do the work, trusting that the results will speak louder than any announcement could ever. And beyond what people will notice, because truly who cares about what other people think about your life, your journey. But when you lock in and you reach your goals, it really does change the way that you see yourself. It builds a level of trust for yourself that no one can truly take away. And once you know what you're capable of doing and you keep showing up for yourself, you really do start to move differently in every area of your life. You begin to set higher standards, not only for yourself, but for anyone who wants to be involved in your life. You learn how to protect your time and your energy, and most importantly, you stop negotiating with your potential. So even if this concept of the great lock-in of 2025 is a real thing or not, why not make this your season? Lately, I've been saying to myself, time is going to pass anyways. There are only 4 months left in the year. If you decide to lock in or not, we're going to move through September and then October, and then before you know it, it's going to be January. So these next 4 months, it's really a time for you to get ahead of the whole new year, new me mindset. But really, imagine how differently your life could look in a year from now if you actually gave yourself permission to lock in and go all the way in for you. So I don't want to lie or pretend like this season of locking in is easy. It's actually going to be very, very challenging. It's going to be a lot of moments where life just feels very quiet. You may find yourself feeling lonely. And truthfully, locking in between September and December, it may be the hardest thing that you have ever done, right? In my opinion, it is the busiest time of the year. There are homecomings, a lot of different fall events. We move into Halloween, then there's Thanksgiving, Christmas, and before you know it, we're back to the New Year celebration. But again, it's actually really going to help you prove to yourself that you do have the ability to choose your devotion over your distractions. So here's what you're going to do. Instead of overwhelming yourself with a huge list of goals, pick one thing that will help you shift your life, your brand, whatever it is that you're focused on before the year ends. Whatever it is, write it down, create a simple plan around it, and then commit to it fully. Most importantly, during this season, you want to focus on building a system that will help you step into the routine of showing up as this person that you want to become, even beyond December. So if this message hit you, drop a comment down below. I don't want you to tell me what you're going to be locked in. I don't want you to tell me your goals. I just want you to comment, "I'm locked in," with a little twinkle emoji. That way I know who to check in with at the end of December. Also, if you have decided that you're going to commit to this great lock-in of 2025, maybe you're going to be focused on becoming the woman that you desire to be and creating a brand or a business that matches her. I do have a lot of resources that are linked down below to help you on your journey. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that we can stay connected as you continue to become the woman that you desire to be, one habit, one choice, and one day at a time.